Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up in this half hour, a great tip to keep your system healthy. Something you might want to do from time to time. We'll show you how to clear out your device manager. And Audiophile's Liam Makelem will show you how you can collect your own unique sounds, digitize them, tweak them, drop them into your own track, and make $1 million like Moby did. Or not. My next guest knows all about the big news in small tech. He's the managing editor of this journal, Small Times. It's a I'm sorry, I should have it a little closer, shouldn't I? A magazine designed to get you up to speed on nanotech. He's joining us right now in the satellite from New York City. Hello, how are you, Steve Crosby?
I'm good, Leo, and how are you?
I'm good. This is a good beat. I mean, tiny, tiny stuff.
This is a great beat.
Are you a little ahead of the curve here, or are small things happening already?
I think we're a little bit ahead right now, but not too far. Small things like microsystems have been around for quite a few years, but we're mostly in research labs. They seem to be hitting a lot of consumer products now, so we try to get established, and I think we're just about going to hit the curve.
And when we say small, how small?
It depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about, you might have heard of MEMS and microsystems. A MEMS is something like a computer chip. It's made about the same way, and it can be measured in millimeters with actual components, little gears and things that are measured in microns. If you get into nanotechnology, now you're talking atoms and molecules and kind of the way nature makes things.
It's amazing, really. And of course, smaller is better in this particular field because you can have more power in a smaller device. It's kind of an odd effect, but at least in microtechnology, smaller is usually lower power, faster, smarter, more effective. Oddly enough.
And cheaper to make in many cases.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a great this is the gatefold. For geeks, we call this the Geek Gatefold on fuel cells in this month's issue of Small Times. Let's talk a little bit about fuel cells. Now, I have something here that's billed as a fuel cell, and I guess in a kind of simple way it is. This is a zinc air battery that they sell to charge up your cell phone. So if you run out of cell phone juice, you can open this. It's in a sealed pouch. As soon as oxygen hits the zinc, it starts generating power. It's a simple fuel cell, but we're talking about something much more sophisticated in here. Tell me what fuel cells are in that context.
Well, fuel cells themselves is an old technology. They've been around for probably 100 years. NASA uses them in their deep space probes. Some bus systems use them if there's environmental concerns about exhaust and pollution. What we're talking about is micro fuel cells, where we shrink them down really tiny, and you can fit them in a cell phone, or you can fit them in a lot of the new micro technology that's even smaller.
What's the advantage of fuel cells?
Well, there's a number of advantages. There's an environmental advantage where you're using a chemical reaction which generates water as a waste product, and sometimes a little bit of carbon dioxide.
So there's no exhaust fumes.
No, right, as opposed to burning fuel in a combustion engine.
Right.
They're a lot more efficient than a combustion process. You can get probably twice the power or the heat or whatever you're trying to get off of a fuel cell reaction than you can off a combustion reaction.
Now this little tiny zinc air battery charger runs out of juice after a while. You refill fuel cells?
Yeah, a true fuel cell, you probably, for something like a cell phone, you probably won't be seeing for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. NASA uses them now in what they call pico satellites, which are satellites about the size of a deck of playing cards. The military is starting to experiment with them to send out in the field with soldiers who need to use night vision and all the communications equipment. You and I will see them, and we'll power our cell phones. Probably our holster will have them, the thing you clip to your belt. We'll have a fuel cell in it, maybe in about 5 years, and you'll just give it a little squirt of methanol or something that hydrogen can be pulled out of, kind of like the old-fashioned cigarette lighters.
Right.
That, you unscrew it and give it a little squirt. That's how you power your cell phone and your laptop.
I love that.
And pretty much, I mean, it goes even farther than that. All that stuff that's hooked with a cord to your wall, your mixer, a hair dryer, anything like that. We don't need that umbilical cord in a few years. You can just slap one of these things in it and take it wherever you want.
More efficient? I mean, do you get more juice from the methanol that you're using that way than you would, say, from a big power plant?
You get, it's a percentage, you get a higher ratio of return for it.
Got it.
The problem right now, and the reason that you don't have it in your cell phone right this minute, is that people haven't figured out how to make it cheaply, and they haven't figured out how to shrink it down so you're not carrying, you know, a dishwasher around on your belt.
So we understand what they are and how to make them. It's not that. It's just trying to get it small and cheap. That's the sticking point right now.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff. I think it's amazing, really, that you can have a whole magazine dedicated now to small stuff. I love that. What's the website for Small Times?
Smalltimes.com.
Easy to remember. Steve Crosby, managing editor. I really appreciate your time. And I look forward to the day when I don't have to plug in my mixer anymore. I just squirt a little methanol in there. I like that idea. Take care,
thanks,
Steve.
Leo.
Thank you. For an in-depth article on fuel cells, go to thescreensavers.com. You can fill yourself up with information and link to Small Times Magazine while you're at it. Coming up next, cleaning out your device manager can really speed up your PC. It's a great way to solve problems, too. We'll show you what's safe to throw away. Screensavers continues.
If you have a question about a Microsoft product, and I know you do, go to Microsoft.com and choose Support, then Knowledge Base to get the best information outside of the screensavers.